Yeah, your boys are back in town. And as always, I am your man, K Marvel. Well, he's not here, but you always know Quiet Storm's around.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, stupid. I'm using a
whisper in the wind.
I'm using a different computer. This isn't my normal computer.
A little slow on the draw there.
Not my normal computer.
Still a little slow on the draw.
Listen, man.
Morant changes sneakers. He doesn't have a bad game. Anyway, I'm the big star.
But he has other bad things happening.
Yeah, right.
I hate your hair.
I don't care if you hate my hair. I didn't get my hair done for you. Wait for it.
It's me.
Oh my god!
Of course it is.
Hey yo, what's up?
Hi-yo.
And as always, I can't even get to it. This is bullshit. This is horrible. I'm gonna have to use a different one. As always, we are your four corners of commentary.
Right, we are three.
Yes,
We're with three. With a triangle of the four corners of commentary.
Right. Guy.
What's going on, guys?
This guy. Oh no, nothing much. Just thankful that it's Women's History Month, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
It's Her Story Month.
Not his story. Yes, not history.
Women's Her Story Month. Yes, it is. And we have a wonderful month ahead for everybody watching. Unfortunately, our guest for today could not make it, so this is a bit of an improv show, but I think every show is an improv show with us. This would be to be funny, but yeah, man, it's wonderful. I think it's great that women have a month of, a dedicated month to them. Although, just like with Valentine's Day, I think every day should be a dedication to just, great human beings in general. But this month we're going to focusing on the women, and that's women, across every platform, whether it's wrestling, whether it's, humanitarians, whether it's historical figures, whether it's podcasting, doesn't matter. We are celebrating the lives and the accolades and the forward movement of women in history.
So this was important. First and foremost, Maddie, feel better.
Yes.
We were going to do another doubleheader with one of our favorite podcasters, but she's feeling a little under the weather. So first and foremost, feel better. And we got you soon. Very soon, promise you on that one. And just respect to everybody. And this month is really special. I know, first off, I can speak for all of us when I say that we have very strong women in our lives. And so thank you for helping making us the men that we are. And for me in particular, thank you for helping me become the father that I am trying to be. So, thank you again. We love you all. Guys, today's topic is about what? Siren's killing me. What did y'all do? Who did what? What happened? Sirens.
Come again.
All the sirens. What did y'all do?
I beg your pardon.
Is it because we're the darker side of the four corners?
Sirens?
That you said it, not me.
I beg your pardon, sirens.
Sir.
But
we're just 2 days removed from Black History Month.
Whatever. Shots fired. No, but we're going to talk about the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards, which came out last Friday, right after the show we did.
2023 Smarties, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So there is a lot of stuff that's questionable, if I may say. As we know, the IWC was up in the roar, but they always are. But I think this is one of those times where we were kind of also involved with that. As we try to stay away from a lot of it also. So, but look, we're gonna kind of run down the list. I have a decent list with me. So essentially it's what I'm gonna do is say the wow, I'm blanking out on what they're called. Jesus. I'm gonna say the category and then there's the top three. Okay.
Top three what?
Of the category.
Of the awards?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure that we switch into that topic. I had the banner, so I was wondering if when you're ready to speak about it. So
I already said it.
Oh.
Man. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the worst gimmick. Number 3 was Kip Sabian, excuse me. Number 2 was Uncle Howdy.
As in worst gimmick of the year, you said?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, making sure.
And number 1 was the Maximum Male Models. Gents, something short. What's up?
I mean, I guess I understand the Uncle Howdy point or the Kip Sabian point because it's like where I'm not saying that Uncle Howdy's not a relevant figure to the Bray Wyatt story. So I mean, I guess their current relevance is kind of like in the wind, I guess you can say. Kip Sabian's only been on TV for like a month or so.
He was on a couple weeks ago. Nothing crazy.
What was it, Rampage, I assume?
I don't remember. Honestly.
But yeah, basically that's I can understand that. But Maximum Male Models is the worst. I can understand that too. But they're all well, not all comedic. I shouldn't even say that. Maximum Male Models is a comedic act, and I think they do what they do well. I mean, that it is what it is. You can't have everybody being, the hardcore wrestling character. You can't have that. You have to have characters. I think I just said this earlier in the group chat. I said, we have people like Dom who, he's making a character for himself. We have characters like Elias who stuck to their character. We've had Alpha Academy stick to their characters, but it becomes very, what's the word? Saturated or oversaturated, I should say. You having the great wrestler, the great technical wrestler, like we have a bunch of those. We need characters. That's where the sports entertainment portion comes into. So, pardon me if I'm not 100% on the AEW bandwagon of this is real pro wrestling. No, you have to have a bit of both. Not everybody's gonna come and watch a straight up wrestling match. A lot of casuals definitely don't.
Right.
But you put a storyline like a soap opera, of course people are gonna be invested. That's why so many people are invested in the Bloodline. Not only is it just, an amazing soap opera, amazing story, it brings you to understand the wrestlers. We just had a whole big thing with Sami Zayn, and him in Montreal. You've seen all of the backstage workings, the little mini documentaries and stuff like that. That's all built from something so casual that people are so invested. And you're seeing how deep wrestling runs in Montreal. You're seeing how deep the storyline is going. People who barely even watch wrestling are talking about the storyline. So I can only imagine what just having an actual character work is good for. You need a jokey character. Not everybody in AEW is amazing. You have a joke character who's been starting Dynamite for how many weeks now? 3 weeks now?
All right. Yeah, let's
Figure
push.
that? Come on now.
Let's push. Stretch, you got anything?
So yeah, I mean, it's like you go into the adage of some of the things I said. Number one, like, well, I think it needs to be said before we get into any of this stuff that these awards are voted by subscribers of the Wrestling News Observer, Wrestling Observer newsletter, rather. Excuse me. So that's 1,000 people at best, which is not a entirety like a good representation or a sample size of wrestling fans. They are particular wrestling fans with particular taste, and they're going to vote for their particular taste. So do I care for their particular taste? Not all the time, but they're entitled to their opinion. With that said, I absolutely agree with a lot of what Stryker just said. You know, there is place for characters in professional wrestling. Professional wrestling, as we know it, is not just like guys in tights just going at it. It's like the age-old adage, and I've said this before, like if everybody's a good wrestler, nobody stands out.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, everybody becomes a flavor of the month if everybody's a good wrestler. Like you take a look at the guy who actually won like Wrestler of the Year for the newsletter, John Moxley, by some stroke of luck. That's one example of their taste.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
With that said, like Moxley has a character. Like he has a level, like a je ne sais quoi about him. He's a good wrestler, don't get me wrong, but he has a je ne sais quoi about him that makes you want to watch him in some cases, or for some people, right? He just doesn't go out there like in, you know, puts on a pair of tights and he wrestles. He has some type of character to his work. Yeah. You know, same with guys like Hangman Page and Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and stuff. You know, he may not get it all the time, but he has a character, right? Mm-hmm. Same with everybody in WWE. They have characters, you know, and they have to live up to those characters before, like in ring work in some cases. So, yeah. You know, it's not necessarily like, I think, just so cut and dry, like, oh, this guy is a good professional wrestler. Like half of the time people say, oh, you don't watch real professional wrestling. I'm like, what is real professional wrestling? All sports entertainment is professional wrestling. Like we even have to have, you know, this type of discussion is like crazy to me.
Yeah. Let's move forward to best gimmick. Third was sorry. I lost. There were so many damn awards. Third was Danhausen. Second was the Acclaimed.
Of course.
And first was the former honorarius Sami Zayn.
Well,
so what'd you think?
I mean, it's great for me.
Best gimmick got the Sami Zayn one, that hands down.
So yeah, like, for sure.
Nobody did it against Sami Zayn. I think he's in wrestling right now.
Yeah, everybody always says that Sami brought new life to the bloodline, and he definitely did. And now he's one of the top baby faces in, you know, all of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that's well deserved. Danhausen finally being able to show what he, you know, at least his comedic side has really been going over. So, you know, he's wonderful. And the Acclaimed, man, they might be they might have had the best growth within the last 3 years. So definitely, you know, giving it up to them. So I'm all for it. So we're going to save those for later. Let's go with worst match of the year. Third was Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi, which is in Boston. Second was Ric Flair and Andrade versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, which was Ric Flair's last match, allegedly. And the winner of it was Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon, which was at WrestleMania after he had the match with Baron Corbin. So, Stretch, what do you think, Doug?
I mean, they're not wrong. I mean, it's like, it wasn't like, I didn't necessarily look at like Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee as like a match. That was more like an angle, an excuse for him to get stunnered. Like, I didn't look at it as a match. It was more so of an angle, So it's like, I think that's like the case of like the fan base talking like they see Vince McMahon, they must automatically hate it. So it's like, it's like, but they're not wrong in the sense like if we're grading this as a match, it was not a good match, right? But to me, it wasn't a match; it was an angle. So it's like, why is that even up for discussion?
Yeah,
bad match.
No, for sure. Let's keep pushing forward. Let's go to best wrestling maneuver. Number 3 was Kenny Omega, One-Winged Angel. Still one of the prettiest moves in wrestling. Number 2 was Adam Page's Buckshot Lariat. And number 1,
Logan Paul's Buckshot Lariat.
And number 1 was Will Ospreay's Hidden Blade. Striker, I know you've seen it far more often than Stretch has, so how you feel about that, bro?
Hidden Blade as a finisher? Was that really his finisher though? I thought it was the Oz Cutter or the Stormbreaker, which I think
it's all of them. It's all of them.
If it's Will Ospreay signature / finishers, for sure. We've seen him use it in various ways this year. Hidden Blade never gets old.
Time out, real quick. The category isn't finisher. The category is best wrestling maneuver.
Oh, maneuver. I thought it was finisher. Sorry, maneuver. But then that's stupid because One-Winged Angel's a finisher. So why can't I just say it's a finisher? It's stupid. Anyway, it's Wrestling Observer newsletter. Why do I think it's supposed to make sense? I guess. But I mean, if you're having the One-Winged Angel in that discussion and you're not even using Ospreay's actual finishing move, I would say the One-Winged Angel is probably the prettiest maneuver in wrestling. Hidden Blade is literally just a chop to the neck.
Prettiest maneuver.
It's not a chop. What are you talking about?
It's a whole forearm chop.
It's like an elbow, like a slashing elbow.
To the back of the head.
That's a great looking move. I buy it. It's believable. So I'm not mad at the selection in any way, shape, or form. I agree with it. I will say this though. I know that half of that audience that subscribes to Dave Meltzer's newsletter is not watching NXT. So Ruka's Soul Snatcher not being like, that's like the prettiest move in wrestling right now. Like I've never seen anything like that. It's innovative, it's new, but with that said, that audience is not going to watch that show. So they obviously have a biased opinion, right? Much like in a lot of people cases they do. So it's like they're not going to take the time to even look at that move. So it's like, you're like preaching to the choir at that point.
Sorry. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Oh, next one is best television announcers. Number 3.
Of course they're gonna say fucking
Ian Riccaboni.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Excalibur.
Of course.
And number 1 is Kevin Kelly. I'm gonna take this one because I have been praising Kevin Kelly for years now. His work, the work that he does for New Japan is amazing. And I think to watch him go from the abuse that The Rock used to give him to him to the work that he's doing now has really been incredible. And I completely agree with the other two. I know a lot of people don't like Excalibur, but the man's play-by-play is bar none one of the best in the business right now. Excuse me. And Ian
Wikipedia.
Yeah, and Ian Riccaboni, he's another one. I've been saying his praises for years now. And I'm just happy that you know, the respect is being shown and the spotlight is being shown to these men. So congratulations.
Wonder where Caprice Coleman was on that list, because Caprice Coleman doing bad.
Yeah, Caprice is great. Shout out to Unk. Rookie of the year. Number 3, Logan Paul.
Ooh.
Number 2, Hook. And number 1, Rookie of the Year, was the current NXT champion, Braun Breaker. Stryker.
Hook is number 2.
Yes, sir.
Not feeling that. Definitely not feeling that at all. Let's see. We've had Roxanne Perez, which should be on the fucking list. Logan Paul definitely should not be number 3. I think, if anything, he's definitely a number 2. And I think 1 could either be Roxanne Perez or who's it again? Who's number 1 again? My bad. Braun Breaker? Yeah, I think honestly either one of them is a great pick, but Hook at number 2? Come on, man. It's just the AEW bias showing as usual.
No, I think Hook's a viable number 2. It's a shame. I'll say this: if Hook wrestles more, he could have won the award. They don't showcase him.
But that's why I say it's not a viable number 2.
I'm not saying this to say like they should have shot Hook to the moon or something like this. Like Hook should have won. Like, oh, he should be like TNT champion or something like that, right? I'm not saying this, but I think they generally have, and I say this about AEW, they have a problem booking faces, I think. Because Hook was red hot. I don't know, maybe red hot is not the word to use, but he's pretty over at one point. And it's like, he's still over, but not as quite as over as he once was. It was like when Wardlow was like really over, right? Wardlow was red hot. And like how they managed to screw that up, I have no clue. But you know, like I think if he would have been featured more and wrestled more, he could have won Rookie of the Year. So I don't have no problem with him as number 2. Breaker to me is like the obvious number 1. I love Breaker, I hate him or whatever. He's like the obvious number 1. He's been in a
Is he really a rookie though?
Yeah, I think so. He started in 2022, so it's like he's been a rookie for the time period of the awards.
Wow, yeah.
So it's like
it was that long.
He didn't start in 21.
No, started in 22.
Oh, okay.
Started with a revamped NXT.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been a prominent part of it since like day 1. And
yeah,
like, I know a lot of people like are like, oh, I missed the black and gold brand and stuff like that. Braun Breaker is no slouch. He's one hell of an athlete, and it's like,
no, for sure.
He's only going to get better. I think. Like he's got like major league star potential. Like I mean, maybe not a face of the company, but definitely like a cornerstone or a linchpin. You know, like he's got it all to me. Like he's got like the talent. I think he's got the look and the charisma down pat. Like you know, he's only going to get better, and he's young. So it's like,
for sure. Hey, before we keep going, that's Squishy.
Please do not apologize for not being able to
make it. Hey y'all, I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it today. Like, hey y'all, hit that like button. And then she says, Stretch growing out his hair again.
Again, yes.
Again. He posted that picture, and I said, that's the old Stretch I know.
Samson is returning.
Looking more like an executor every day. The alone one.
The dragon one, right?
Yeah. Not obviously not the other one. Like, because he's still, slim. So you gotta still on that.
Funny. That's real funny.
Better that than a giraffe rig. Yeah, we're talking Pokemon, all right, people. Anyways, the next one we're gonna go to is most overrated. Number 3, the disrespect. Stretch the disrespect. We gotta sit here every episode and hear the disrespect from these two. Now we gotta watch this bullshit. The tribal chief,
of course. Yeah,
Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Number 2, Tyrus. And number 1, Ronda Rousey. Absolutely.
You could have put Tyrus as number one.
Yeah, I was just about to say Tyrus. Tyrus is not a bad
Tyrus is trash.
bad pick. Oh man.
Nobody's been bragging or hyping up Ronda Rousey since she's been back. So how is she overrated? She can beat every and anybody's ass in the WWE. She's not.
Yeah, but she's not a good. She's still not good though. Just because she can fuck you up doesn't mean that she's good in the ring. Like,
I wouldn't call her overrated. If you really want somebody overrated, why is Jon Moxley not on the list?
I'm just saying, man.
He's wrestler of the year. He can't be overrated.
Wait, hey, we didn't get there yet. Let's go to best non-wrestler. I mean, the winner's obvious. Number 3 was Don Callis. Number 2 was William Regal. Number 1 is one of the greatest talkers of all time, the Wise Man, Paul Heyman.
I don't think he's undeniable really at this spot. As long as it's his
Taking
award to lose, as long as he's in the wrestling business, like
taking deep stunners at this age, crazy.
He's the man. He's the fucking man. Most improved, Jamie Hayter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mina Shikarawa. Excuse me if I said that wrong. And The Acclaimed is number 1.
I agree.
The Acclaimed. Let's go to most charismatic. Number 3. Head of the table, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Number 2. Sami Zayn, the master strategist. And number 1, the devil you know, MJF.
Most charismatic.
Gents, this one I want to talk about. What's going on? What do you think?
I think either 2 or 3 are viable choices. Not saying that MJF is not charismatic, but I don't know. Right now, to me, this whole bloodline thing is the best storyline in wrestling. So to deny them of most charismatic is like the ultimate smart thing to do.
I mean, no, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate smart thing to do. Like,
I honestly don't know. I mean,
MJF is no slouch, but
no, of course not.
Maybe that's my bias showing because I've not really been entertained by.
But shit, I mean, you could say Brian's charismatic as fuck. He's always wanting to kick somebody's head in every week. Jay White's charismatic as fuck. Like, you have a whole bunch of other people that honestly could be higher on this list. I think charisma doesn't necessarily equate to 100% character. It's just when this person speaks, you feel that energy. Anytime Ricky Starks takes a mic and starts spitting, you feel the passion in the promo. Sami Zayn, the same. If he's deep into a storyline, just as how he was with this with the Roman Reigns storyline, you feel the passion there. It is somebody that you can always or get behind. Shit, Cody Rhodes. Why is Cody Rhodes not top 3? This doesn't make any sense. You understand what I mean? I get it. I get you're gonna do categories and you're gonna throw WWE picks in there because you don't want anybody to say that you're biased for AEW. But I mean, regardless of what, but that's what I'm saying. Regardless to what the awards are biased to AEW anyway. So if you're gonna do it, at least do it right. But for the thousands of people, for the 1,000 people subscribe to this thing, is what it is.
What's promotion of the year? Number 3.
You even have to go through the choices. Like we already know what they picked.
Number 3. Control your narrative.
The fuck.
Number 2. NWA. And number 1. The WWE.
Of course.
Shout out to D-Man. Was good. Pause. Crazy.
Yes, Seth actually should be considered. Yes,
Seth definitely should have been considered.
So was that really the pick? WWE was the worst or
the
best?
Yep, he was the worst.
Worst.
They were the worst promotion of 2022.
Not imploding NWA, losing their mainstay champion, and you go to Tyrus. Not control your narrative, which ain't even exist past a couple of months.
Rodney, it was good, bro.
But it's WWE.
Recorded a heavy episode today.
Plus the guy like EC3 like cracked a bunch of Nazi jokes, which is never cool. So it's like when the guy that like is running your organization is like, well, I don't mean to be the 88%, like that type of stuff is like never funny.
Right.
So it's like, really, dude, like how can they not have how have they not won that award? Like I have no clue.
I don't know, man. I just don't understand how a company that essentially is in the dirt cannot be considered the worst promotion. Like it was the shortest. It's probably one of the shortest stints in wrestling history. On that type of scale.
It's the bias.
And
bias.
Like I understand people's argument when they say one storyline does not make a company great.
Of course.
Okay, I get that. But good wrestlers also make a company great. The fact that they're still running and still selling merch, like millions of dollars in everything. Come on now, you know. But
it couldn't be AEW. No, couldn't
be man.
No.
So let's go to worst feud of the year. Number 3, Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. Number 2, Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan. And numero uno, The Miz versus Dexter Lumis. Anybody?
Worst feuds? I
don't think it's worse than the two. Well, then again, I'm not really trying to put Bray in this, but you know, I won't say it's worse than the other two. I mean, you're playing into Miz's character, which is supposed to be a reality star, and you're doing a soap opera level storyline. How's that the worst thing? That's an actual story. It's an actual story. And let alone you're introducing Dexter Lumis, and Lumis is actually playing the character he's always played. And that is the stalkerish killer, serial killer type of character that he's always had. So how the hell is that a bad story by any means?
Yeah. I mean, listen.
You're introducing the character to casuals who don't know who the character is. Then, you know, months later after, I guess, creative fully changes now is when you're linking, Lumis and Gargano, Lumis and Theory, Gargano, Theory, Lumis all together. You know, everything's being linked together. So how is that the worst storyline? You've had what can I say? What else did you have this year that was completely?
Listen, man, to each their own.
Come on,
how they see it.
But once again, it's an opinionated process.
Right.
It is what it is. Go
ahead. Let's go to. Wait a second. Worst television show.
Dynamo.
Number 3. NWA Power. Number 2. WWE NXT.
Yikes.
And number 1. WWE Raw.
I'm willing to give it to Raw. Raw was not good for a long time. I'm willing to give it to Raw.
Rampage was my number 1.
You know, Rodney just brought up a good point. I think he might have found a feud that was worse.
Oh, that is really
bad.
Right.
That 24/7 bullshit was pretty bad.
But I'm pretty sure people forgot about it. So I mean that is considerably the worst.
Recency bias is a thing.
Right.
Recency bias is a thing. I mean, that feud.
Now, does it count worse because Reggie was involved and you were not, or is it really just a hard?
Oh,
that's what
Wait,
I have.
he's not feeling Dana anymore.
Oh,
yeah, moved on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a little bit, like, but yeah, he's mainly like he's on the better.
you said great question.
Great question. But I will say this, like, number one, he's right. I will say this though about Raw. Raw was pretty bad for a while, like pretty bad. So I agree wholeheartedly with that choice. Raw is like number one.
But
NXT should be
NXT at number 2. It shouldn't be on the list. Why is Rampage not on the list?
Rampage. Nobody watches Rampage, so that's like they're not going to put anything AEW is worse on this list, given the demographic that is voting for these awards.
Of course,
so don't expect anything in AEW to be worse.
It's 1,000 neckbeards who love Florida.
All right, let's go to most disgusting promotional tactic. Number 3 is WWE continues relationship with. I'm sorry. Hold on. Number 3 is Ric Flair's last match. Number 2 is WWE continues relationship with Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of money involved, man.
There's a contract involved, so
questionable.
Number 1, WWE Vince McMahon appearing on television for a crowd pop after sexual misconduct allegations came out.
I don't think I can argue against that.
No, there's no argument at all.
Don't think I can argue against that one. That one's spot on. The fact that he had the gusto to even show up, like, after
seriously,
being accused of sexual assault, like, and he got a pop. That was the word. I don't know if that says anything about him, but the crowd even more. He got a pop.
Yeah,
he was not booed. He was welcomed with open arms, and it worked. Like, we all tuned in to see what he had to say.
Horrible.
It's a crazy thing.
So this one is another one I think that needs to have a little conversation. Best major wrestling show, which is like a best pay-per-view, best premium. Yeah. Mm-hmm. WWE WrestleMania Night 1.
Number 3?
Yep. AEW Revolution. Number 2. And number 1 is AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door. I'm willing to give it to Forbidden Door. I agree with that.
Okay. Forbidden Door was fire.
Was Revolution fire though?
That was fun.
What city was that? We can't go there.
Was Revolution fire though? I'm trying to remember.
I honestly don't remember. Not gonna lie to you.
Was that CM?
By the way, Revolution this Sunday.
Was that CM Punk MJF?
Probably
last year.
Collar match, I believe so.
Probably.
Okay, so I could give it to that. That was a good year. I mean, that was a good pay-per-view. One of the few topics that we did not disagree
with. Yeah. Worst television announcer.
Okay, yeah.
Number 3, Jim Ross. Damn.
Wow.
Surprised he got votes.
Yeah.
Number 2, Booker T.
No argument there.
And number 1,
shucky ducky quack to that, sir.
Number 1 is Corey Graves.
No.
Booker should have took that. I'm sorry.
Booker should have
took that. I'm sorry. And I love Booker T.
Unfortunately. I mean, could go either way.
Booker should have won that one.
The Bryan Danielson Award, which is the best technical wrestler. Number 3, Daniel Garcia. Number 2, Zack Sabre Jr. And number 1, Bryan Danielson.
Wait, repeat it one more time.
Number 3 is Daniel Garcia. Number 2 is Zack Sabre Jr. Number 1 is Bryan Danielson.
Best technical wrestler?
Yep. He won his own award.
Well, again, that's
the hiatus of him being in WWE is over, so he's going to start winning his own award again.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with that statement too. Kevin
I
Patrick.
like Kevin Patrick as an announcer.
Yeah.
Personally, I think he's a decent.
He's not better than Graves, though. Hold on. Let me see. We did that. All right. So let's get to some of the meat and potatoes, right? Let's start with this. Excuse me. Most outstanding wrestler of the year. Kazuchika Okada was 3. Bryan Danielson was 2, and Will Ospreay was 1. Most outstanding wrestler. I would give it to Will because that man has been traveling all over the world, putting on banger after banger after banger after banger. He doesn't fail. Like he doesn't lose. Not that he doesn't lose, but like he doesn't let you down. You know what I mean?
Right. Win or lose, he gives you a match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what you expect of a wrestler. It's the same with Seth.
Yeah.
It's literally the same with Seth. Seth,
I'm kind of surprised he's not on here.
Bangers of the matches.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't compete with God.
Hey,
which is Okada. And who's the other one?
You said it.
It was Okada.
Brian.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Honestly, who's fucking with that list? Nobody's stopping. Nobody's stopping.
Wrestler of the year. Number 3, Will Ospreay. Number 2, Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns.
Okay, interesting.
Number 1, Jon Moxley.
Disagree.
Hard disagree.
Yeah, same. What?
Should have been Ospreay.
How is it not Roman?
It's Roman, bro.
How is it not Roman?
It's Roman. To me, it's Roman, and it's not close.
Sorry.
God.
Twos.
I think the one thing that we all can come to a consensus on is the three of us is that we don't think it should be Jon Moxley.
Yeah,
and I like Moxley for the most part.
Hey,
should
I
not
don't
even
dislike him.
5.
It's just, oh man, should have been Roman.
Now, if it was number 1 wrestler to bleed of the year.
Oh please, they'd be a runaway.
My God,
they should take.
They wouldn't have enough ballots.
They should take Ali out. Marvel. They should take Ali out and put Jon Moxley as Blade. Best weekly television show. Number 3, Rampage. Number 2, WWE SmackDown. And number 1, AEW Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Wow.
Why they have not called Jimmy Walker for beyond me?
such a missed moment. Excuse me.
The fact that they have not called Jimmy Walker for a promo of some sort is beyond me.
I don't know, man. I do not know. Let's see. I know there's something else. All right. I feel like that has to be last. So let's go with promotion of the year. Number 3 is the WWE. I don't know how you could be part of the worst and the best promotion.
Exactly.
That's just confusing.
Absolutely.
To amaze me, I swear.
Number 2 is Stardom. I'll give it to you. Absolutely. Okay. John, I'm cut Moxley. And number 1, All Elite Wrestling.
Shocker.
So All Elite Wrestling was the greatest promotion. I don't know.
Absolute shocker.
I do not know, sir.
Absolute shocker. I mean, they're a great promotion. I mean, So I guess
well,
like
if it's 2022, if it's 2022, compare it to WWE, compare it to anything
It's
else.
a tale of two halves. Like if this was done half of the year of 2022, I'd agree with it. Like I think personally from Survivor Series on down, it's been the WWE, like hands down. Like there's no like
yeah.
Survivor Series or SummerSlam?
I would say Survivor Series.
Okay.
Like SummerSlam,
So I think they do it. I think they do it this year. I think this year they definitely get
They're
it.
never going to do it. With this awards, they're never going to do it. Like they would have to absolutely crush like AEW, blow them out of the water. They're never going to do this in the eyes of those fans. So that is a pipe dream. It's never going to happen.
Best box office draw: CM Punk, John Cena, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns is number one.
I mean, you can make a. I mean, he's to me he's clear number one, right? But you can make a case for Punk because to me it's hard. Like their numbers have not been the same.
Absolutely.
Like people might not want to admit that, but their numbers have not been the same since CM Punk unceremoniously took a hiatus. We'll put it that way.
For sure. Feud of the year: 3, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins; 2, CM Punk versus MJF. Excuse me, number 1, FTR versus Mark and Jay Briscoe. Strike.
That is tag match of the year.
No, that was feud. Best feud of the year.
That was feud of the year.
I can. Well, you can't say Bloodline because the Bloodline were in many feuds this year. So I think for the single most feud, I think that's perfect. We had a great trilogy, and unfortunately, with the untimely passing of Jay Briscoe, I mean, it just elevates that even more. That was the last bit of things that we seen of them, and it. To be honest, what a way to go! What a way to go out! Like you've essentially had what I would say is probably their biggest feud, of recent memory, and all of the matches were great. All of the matches were great. Shout out to the Briscoe family as well as condolences. We miss Jay Briscoe. But I think this is hands down probably the best feud of the year of 2022, most definitely.
Definitely the best match. I don't know if it's the best feud. I would have actually been willing to go MJF CM Punk.
Interesting.
I would have been willing to go that far.
I think him leaving made it fall flat.
Oh yeah,
that's why.
Without question.
All right, so. Let's get to what I think has been the biggest talk of the town when it comes to this award situation.
I know what it is.
Best promoter of the year.
Yeah.
And best booker of the year. So let's go. Let's start with best promoter of the year. Best promoter of the year. Number 3, Rossi Agawa. Rossi, I'm probably messing that up. But you know what? I'm about to, I should have did my homework beforehand, so I apologize. So I'm going to do it right now.
Sir, do your homework.
What happened? What?
Do your homework.
What? Y'all could have did it too. Shit.
You're the one with the list.
I don't give a damn. It's called the internet. Y'all could have got it too.
All right,
Rossi Agawa is the promoter for Stardom.
Okay.
Dana White, because they included UFC with a bunch of these also. And Tony Khan.
Why was Dana White?
Tony Khan won? What a shocker.
Tony Khan.
Why was Dana White two? What did UFC do last year?
Tony Khan.
I'm not worried about number one. We already it's irrelevant at this point.
It's a great reference if they don't understand. Great reference.
Yes.
Best Booker of the year.
Oh, even worse.
Number 3,
Oh,
Paul Levesque.
Number 3. Wow.
Number 2, Rossi Agawa. And number 1, Coke Baby. I mean, Tony Khan. Tony Khan. Now, the fact that Tony Khan is above either one of them is crazy to me. Crazy. Stardom was nuts this year.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
I would have thought Stardom was number 1.
like, don't get me wrong, man. There's been some hiccups from these little returns. From I don't want to say little, excuse me, but these returns. But man, some of these have been knocked out the fucking park.
Yeah.
Bookers. We're talking about booking here.
Right. We're not talking about John Moxley taking 12 finishers and still standing up. That's not proper.
and bleeding.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
We're not talking about Chris Jericho and his wonderfully purple stooges.
Hey.
Look,
Excuse me.
I don't like the hat either. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I like this hat.
Well, I hope it keeps you warm at night.
It does actually. It really does keep me warm. It's actually very well done.
It does not. It does not stop the scathing dislike that I have.
Where is Harvey Dent?
Overstayed.
That's what I get reminded of every time I hear that. Where is Harvey Dent?
Jeez.
But yeah, I don't know.
Guys.
Bias will be bias. It is what it is.
Guys, this is incredible. This is
incredibly bad.
I think, and there was a lot of others that could have been that I could have read, but decided not to. I think there's a lot to be said. I think, yes, there is definitely bias, but at the same time, man, it just shows how the wrestling world really is. They truly want there to be this war, and it should just be about enjoying wrestling and accepting the opportunities, being appreciated for the opportunities for some of these talent. So at the end of the day, congrats to everybody who was either nominated, voted on, won, and lost. Thank you for putting your bodies on the line and your mental health on the line so that we can do things like this. Thank you again. I want to shout out Catalyst Wrestling this week.
I would like to say thank you for Vince McMahon for once again putting his stock portfolio on the line. My idiot back to the place that he left.
Welcome back. No,
not for Vince.
Yeah, no, please, no. I just want to shout out Catalyst Wrestling this week. I believe it's the 5th, if I'm not mistaken. Catalyst Wrestling will have their television champion. I believe it's the Sapphire Television Championship, if I'm not mistaken. O'Shea Edwards challenge their heavyweight champion, Mr. Darius Carter. Interesting, because O'Shea Edwards is part of the Carter group. So what's going to happen? We don't know. Shout out to Battle Club. They have a few shows coming up. Women Crush Wednesday is... I got to get the date, so excuse me. I will make sure to have it next week. And Janelle, forgive me. I will definitely have it by the time you come on. Hey, that's the missus. Hi, guys. What's up?
He was mine.
Oh, shoot.
Shut up, sir. And they have the All Men show coming, and Jobber Slam was announced, and also Black Wrestle Fest. Shout out to everybody who's a part of those. Next week.
I remember Acapulco.
Wait, actually, you know what? Before I do that,
Your hair was brown.
y'all got any?
Sorry.
Y'all have any?
This is
any
Atlanta reference in case nobody got it.
yeah, I can't.
Oh
do
boy.
shout outs.
Shout outs.
Anybody?
Well, I got a shout out, I suppose. You know, it is Women's History Month. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my sister. You know, my two pillars in my life that remind me that when my job gets incredibly frustrating, that I do this for altruistic reasons, not just to get paid. You know, they constantly are like a source of inspiration and a backbone for me. So thank you to both of them.
Oh,
right there. For
he's
Women's
gonna blush purple.
History Month. Mine in Acapulco.
He
Mine
really
in
wants you to
Ruby,
remember
hair was brown.
Strike. Go ahead, man.
Really wants you to remember Acapulco.
Right.
Shout out to
I can't say the rest of the skit.
shout out to the wonderful women in my life. You know, no matter what, the love is there, no matter where you are. And I pray things get better. I pray that, you know, things come back full circle. You know, everything's great with y'all. Wish y'all nothing but the best, protection, love, everything under the sun that you all deserve. And that's it, short and sweet for me.
I did say all the women in my life, right? I did say that. Okay, good. Thank you, love. Women Crush Wednesday is April 12th. See, this is why I'm marrying her, because she got my back. April 21st is the second show, which is going to be exciting. So we'll make sure to have the card. There was actually 2 matches already announced for Women Crush Wednesday. I will say that one of them is Masha Slamovich versus Sakura Sakai, I believe. No, Sakumi Sakai. I'm messing up her name. Next week, I have it down pat. Promise you. Oh, and Black Wrestle Fest is June 17th. So
Very nice.
So make sure. Oh, and don't forget the 100th episode. So that's coming very, very soon. We'll make sure to have some. We'll make sure to have details soon. Gonna figure all of that out. So make sure to stay tuned.
8 weeks, 8 episodes.
Hey, it's coming, baby. And with that being said, let's talk about next week. That's right. Next week, Kings is in the building. Finally get to have you on the show, sis. Can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll be talking about the aftermath, of AEW Revolution and AEW Dynamite. So that's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. Great episode. Let's do what we do, and see. This is why I can't do with this. I can't do with the different computer. Mouse don't work.
So much potential at one point. That's the sad thing.
So much. That's the wrong one, dude. Why is it? You should have just went.
I refuse to go until it's right.
I hate y'all. QS, you already know his Instagram and his Twitter is at Forever Thiefing. Here, shit.
That's right. That's right. Right there, brother. Right there, brother. Right there, brother. Get it right. Right there. Right there.
All right, I'm done.
What's up? It's me, StrykerDragoon. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all the same. YouTube at StrykerDragoon131. Thank you, 2023 video in full effect. Comments on the video. Thank you, Dragoon Haven. Subscribe, please. in order to be added into the wonderful drawing that will be happening at the end of March. I will be purchasing these 2 games and getting them out to whomever wins the nice little roulette. So what I will say is thank you to everybody who's been rocking with me. This week I'm playing Fire Emblem Engage. I'm gonna try and get as far as I can with it this week, and hopefully next week I get back to my regular daily schedule of streaming. But thank you guys. It's been a blessing, and hope to see you guys again soon.
And as always, I'm your man K Marvel. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Marvel87. Also, you can find me tomorrow, Friday, on prn.live on the show A Different Angle with my co-host Rodney Harris. That is at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. prn.live. Pardon me. Also, you can check us out on ADA Pod 2023 and just chat. That's all it is. Just come and chill, baby. See, I hate this. I can't do it with this computer. This is the worst. Strike, you should just, god damn it. Go. I can't see. There it is. Thanks. You can follow Four Corners of Commentary on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at The Council of Commentary. On TikTok at on TikTok at Council of Commentary, and on Twitter at CO Commentary. Also, make sure that you can follow and give us ratings and stars and all that other stuff on some of your favorite streaming platforms. Some like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, and iHeartRadio. Guys, thank you so much for staying with us and rocking with us. I can't. Who's what? Who's what? What is he talking about? Anybody? Anyways,
explain yourself, sir, before we go.
No, yeah. Now I want to know. I want to know. Oh.
We'll leave it up just so you can see that. We're speaking to
I was like, don't act like y'all don't know that song. Nah, see, it's too late. Look, see, it's dying out now. See, it's not being typed fast enough.
Well,
damn. Well,
there he goes.
Oh, what did he say?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Who's the co-host?
Oh, on a different angle? Nah, tell Kathleen and get it right, and then I'll say you. So he's probably laughing his ass off. That's my co-host, Rodney Harris. He is on the show A Different Angle tomorrow on prn.live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You happy? Shit. Guys, this has been another episode of Four Corners of Commentary. Pow. And we out. Love y'all. Peace. Oh, wait. Wow.